Okay. Welcome everybody to another scene for Vampire the Masquerade Independence. This scene takes place in Sam's apartment block, and in the aftermath of what happened at Elysium, and with a bone to pick, and someone wanting someone to pick on, Camilla decides to go and visit the mysterious vampire that she knows lives in this block. And there's a rather knock on the door.
About a minute goes by before the door is finally answered, the door opening inwards slightly with the chain lock engaged and dark sunglasses over the rather unsettling eyes of Samanya Broom peer around the corner of the door and with brows slightly furrowed. I didn't expect to see you so soon.
Camilla looks a little bit tousled. Her hair's not as neat as it normally is, and there's blood on her waistcoat. Her gold waistcoat.
Fallen down a flight of stairs recently?
She steps forward. May I come in?
You own this place, don't you?
I also own a set of manners.
True, but I don't think it's really my place to deny you entry, is it? And with that, she shuts the door slightly so she can disengage the chain lock and then opens the door, leaving it open as she walks back towards the couch.
Camilla comes in, she closes the door behind her. She has sort of a military style about her walk. She walks very straight. And she walks over to the centre of the room. Says, I have 3 problems. First problem, someone attacked my nightclub.
Uh-huh.
The second problem, my child was disobedient to me.
I'm afraid I can't reciprocate just yet.
And the third problem is that she came to see you.
Now there's something I can't help you with. Care to take a seat, or will you just stand the whole time?
I'd prefer to stand right now.
Very well, just don't start pacing, you'll make my neck cramp. So, little Ariana came back to a disapproving mother then.
I was hoping to voice my disapproval later on, but it seems that my temper has gotten the better of me this evening.
I see. Should I prepare a box so you can collect my ashes, or perhaps just keep a bit of substance close by so I can be brought out of torpor? And when she says that, she says that with a very indignant smirk.
Perhaps you think I am joking with you.
Perhaps I think that you should sit down and talk to me like an individual rather than scolding me from your lofty stance.
Camilla walks over to the sofa and sits down.
There. Isn't that better?
She is more fragile than I am, though she pretends not to be. She still holds on to her mortal values, if you understand me.
I do, though I didn't get a good read on her as to her reaction at least initially, though her actions after which dictated far more than any expression or guttural response such as you had not too long ago. You don't approve of me bringing her into this world that I live in, I take it.
There are reasons why I would not choose to expose her to your lifestyle.
It's a very interesting observation to make when you expose somebody to the horrid reality that our kind are often subjected to or subject themselves to. Gauging responses is one of the surefire ways that I have of getting to know an individual without pretenses. You made your disgust rather apparent when, well, you saw what it is that I do up close and personal. And while Ariana remained stone-faced, her actions afterwards in, well, making my prey less than appetizing spoke volumes of how she felt about the situation, at least in my humble opinion.
Her previous occupation has made her a very good actress.
Perhaps, but still, actions often do speak louder than, I suppose, expressions would be a bit more suitable at this point.
Either way, she is impatient and headstrong, and I informed her not to come here without me accompanying her, and she chose to disobey me. So,
Then I fail to see why you're here, for lack of a better term, hassling me.
she informed me that you suggested that she Camilla looks at your neck briefly, sampled your blood.
I did, and I make no excuse for it. It was my goal to either A, inform her that prying into my personal life is a fairly fruitless endeavor, or have her do something extremely foolish and rash. Either way, I come out on top. Someone that I can trust more than others. Or she simply drops the topic of conversation and leaves it be. Sam leans over the table slightly and sort of leers at Camilla slightly. Because of my predilections and what I am, I don't have many allies, and I have nothing of friends. That's both by choice and by, well, unfortunate circumstance. I can tell you after my sire left me here, for whatever reason, any pool of trust that I may have has gone dry. And I will not trust anyone that I encounter without certain assurances. And before you care to dabble any further, I should inform you that while she may not have understood it, my offer was for a one-sided bond. would have not sampled her blood in any way, shape, or form.
No, but one cannot make assumptions on another person's intentions or their potency.
True, but you seem to have your mind made up, at least in part. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here.
Many Toreador have their particular forms of art, whether it be painting or sculpting or dancing, playing music, that sort of thing. It's a clan pastime and a clan recognition. If you are not seen to be an artist, you are deemed as a fake, a fraud, and not a true member of the clan. That sort of thing. I've always been somewhat of a rebel in my midst for refusing to fall to this particular conformity. However, around midway into my life as an undead, I found something worthy of my note. And ever since, I have regarded her as my highest achievement and my finest form of art.
Sam lets out an unneeded sigh and sort of folds over slightly, resting her elbows on the coffee table, clasping her fingers together into a fist and sort of resting her forehead upon them as she begins to chuckle slightly. And then makes a very satisfied sigh as she shakes her head slightly. You Camarilla types are always so very haughty. Sam will sit up slightly. If I had an inkling of ill will towards you, I would say that that would have been a nail in the coffin for any machinations I might have had. Luckily for you, you're about the only person in the city that I even remotely turn a warm glance towards. I would say either you have made a serious faux pas, luckily in the safety of someone who has no ill will towards you, or you're so completely arrogant or confident in your own ability to defend her.
Camilla smiles. Many have tried to take her from me, and many have failed.
Then you've been lucky to this point, would you not say?
I don't believe in luck
Hmm.
or fate. What is it they say? God doesn't play dice.
And yet it is the random roll of the dice, I honestly believe, which brings us always forward into where we are. I do believe that you aren't foolish enough to think me as someone who actually has designs in your childer.
Just take my visitation as an adequate warning. I have respect for you, but do not push your luck.
Sam nods slightly as she stands up and walks to the mantelpiece and retrieves something. As she picks up the black duster knit type style jacket from the arm of the sofa and slides it over herself, adjusting her sunglasses slightly. And then holding out a hand for Camilla's.
Camilla takes her hand.
Sam will flip the hand over and place something inside of it and simply close Camilla's fingers before placing a brief peck on Camilla's forehead before walking out of the apartment.
Camilla looks into her hand.
The key to the apartment and its keyring are resting in her palm.
Camilla clasps her hand around the key, leaves it a few moments, and then leaves herself. It's here the scene will end.